I'm Janet. Today I'm going to show you how we load a quilt at JQS. So I'm going to start over on the right hand side of the machine, and I'm going to pull forward this back leader, fold this a little bit to get it under your foot. Use your great little clips here to hold this down. There you go. And then I like to point it up because it's easier to attach the red snappers that way. Then I grab the back of my quilt. We start with the back. I grab 3 of these little guys, throw them along the back. I find the top, if there is a top. So you lay this out. I line up along the edge here, and I snap on in the middle and on each end. We do not worry about centering because we're going to tell the machine exactly where the quilt falls. Some people will put a mark at the center of their leader, so they have and then they put the center of their quilt there, and that's fine if that's what you want to do, but you don't have to. So I go over and I get my red snappers, just kind of guess at what length I need. And I touch my red snappers. If they're real new, you need to bend them like this, and it helps when you're pressing them down. You take the little 2 inchers out because you're going to use them later. Slide that out and finish your red snapper. Take these out of your way. Take your plastic clamps off and set them on your frame. And now we're going to load this onto the back roller. If you don't have a crank on your back roller, it really helps to have one. And what you'll notice on here on the back, I have a bunch of creases on the back. And what we do at Joe's to get rid of those creases, simple bottle of faultless spray starch. You can get it anywhere, Walmart, HEB, and you spray your creases lightly. And then as you roll it forward and then roll it back, those creases disappear. You don't have to worry about it being ironed perfectly. So you come over here, you make sure that you move your red snapper out of the way. There you go. And you keep cranking. You watch and try to make sure that your edge lines up. Stop every once in a while, check it out. Roll. You see a few more of your creases, give it a little spray, and you crank, keep cranking until you're just about to the end. And then your back bar, you pull over and you use your little 3 2-inch snappers again to attach these. You kind of gauge whether it's straight or not. And you just get it very near the edge. You try to line up here to here. What you're looking for when you're putting here is you're looking to make sure it's not pulling to one side. It could be where it's stretched and it's pulling to one side, or pulling this way, and you would see this in your fabric. This one looks pretty straight. Looks like it's cut really well too, because it lines up really well from front to back. And now we get the long red snappers again. Drop that there. I find if I hold one finger underneath that this isn't going to move very much. It is locked down over here. This is engaged and locked down, or it should be. Save these again because you're going to use them one more time. Come here, and I've got a little bit left, so I'm going to keep that one right there. And now we want to roll this, roll your back all the way back onto this bar. About every roll, you're going to straighten it out from the middle, both ways. And then you roll it again, and you straighten it again and line it up. You want to pull it all the way forward until your red snapper is in front of your dead bar. Okay, now this is really tight across here, and we like to give it a little bit of a dip in there. So I'm going to loosen it just a couple of clicks. I'm going to engage the top and tighten it up. The reason I moved it forward is because my red snapper was pointing up. If the red snapper is pointing up like this, then this is going to be higher than the back, and you don't want that. So you want to make your red snapper either to the back, the bottom, or the side. All right, next we put on our batting. Well, first we put on our side clamps. People always ask how tight to make your side clamps. So if it starts out like this, you're basically wanting to stand it up to where it's parallel to the ground. Not super tight, just where it's parallel to the ground and it's holding your fabric. So again, that one's hanging down, so we're going to tighten it up just a little bit. There you go. Now we put the batting on. Batting is pretty delicate, so we're going to pull the batting up from behind because it goes behind the front bar. I'm going to put it up here to the top. It's still folded. I haven't unfolded it yet. Wow. It's a little wrinkly because it was at the end of the roll. And then we're going to take the top layer. I just kind of roll it up, put it through, and I drop it straight down, and it's out of my way. Line up this at the top as best you can. You want to make sure you don't have any bumps in your batting or you're going to get bumps in your quilt. The next thing I do, and the reason I got two reasons for doing this. One, it holds my batting in place, and two, it gives me a nice straight line to line my quilt up on. So we're going to come over here and we're just going to use our basting stitch. Use one finger or two fingers to pull it across. As soon as you start using these fingers, you're going to pull it towards yourself. There you go. Now you have a nice line to line your quilt up against. You just put it right below that line. So here's our adorable little baby quilt top. I'm going to center it as best I can on my batting. Line it up just below that line we just stitched. There we go. And you pull up the bottom of the quilt up here while you're basting that, because you don't want to pull it with your body against here because it kind of gets in the way sometimes. So we're going to keep that up there for just a minute. Now we're going to baste the top, and we try to stay about 1/4 inch from the edge of the fabric. You can go as fast or as slow as you're comfortable doing. If there's a little bit of fullness in your border, then you just walk your fingers right behind your cup foot, press down just a little bit, and it will gather up any kind of fullness that you have in there. We're going to stop right there. There. Now we take the rest of our top, tuck it right behind the front bar. Turn the front bar to where your red snapper's up, and you grab your little 3 guys again. Just pull it up straight towards you and over the front. And you kind of look down here to make sure you're lining it up around the center. You can tell if you're pulling to one side or the other, so you just kind of get it straight. Okay, now we get our red snappers again. Now we roll this on this front bar. You don't want it super tight. You're just trying to hold it in place while you're stitching. So you engage the lock over here. What we're going to do here is we're going to baste your sides. Every time we advance the quilt, we baste the sides. I'm going to start at the bottom because we found that if there's any fullness in your border, you can compensate for it if you start at the bottom. So we're going to start at the bottom, and my fingers are going to follow slowly right behind my cup foot and just walk behind there. Go all the way to the top, and you're done. if there were any fullness here, which there's very little, it would have been gathered up in that. The more fullness you have, the harder you have to press. So we'll come and do the left side. If you notice, whenever I'm moving the machine, my fingers are nowhere near the buttons. Okay, here we go. We're going to do the left side. Same thing. Now we just trim off all our excess threads. Put the sew head at the corner and change it to 11 stitches. And we're ready to go. And now you know.